You want to get on the action? We want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG @FadeRoutePodcast. Drop us a DM on Twitter @FadeRouteDNZ. Comment on our YouTube channel, The Fade Route with DNZ. Questions, comments, picks, segment suggestions, you name it, we want to hear from you. Get at us, in crowd. Welcome to The Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of The Fade Route with D and Z. I am Z, and it's about time the pitching showed up in the Yankees Rays series. You know, it's been a slugfest. I was completely wrong about this. San Diego didn't do jack in terms of holding these guys in the ballpark. And frankly, this game has been a palate cleanser. And here he is. I've known this guy since our days on Carousel Shoes, the last QB in St. John's history, flight crew through and through. What's up, D? How's it going?
Hey, man, we got a great show.
We do have a great show tonight. But first things first, before we get into the games, let's first pay a little respects to not just the late, great Bob Gibson, who passed away last week, and we didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him, but also Whitey Ford left us today. He was 91, lived a full life. Great pitcher, Hall of Famer, world champion, and all around, who would you rather have, in terms of left-handed pitchers? Sandy Koufax, Whitey Ford, he's got to be up on that list.
Yeah, one of the best all time. I never apologized for doctoring the ball.
No.
But yeah, true legend. Played on some really strong Yankee teams with DiMaggio and Berra and Mantle. I believe Whitey was Mantle's best friend on the team.
Yes, he was actually, and I believe
the thing they had the most in common was they both loved Scotch.
Absolutely, and
That's awesome.
Billy Crystal actually really played that relationship off very well in the movie 61. And you really got a sense of the fact that that relationship was very real, and they had a chance to, really speak to Whitey and get his input on these things. And he will be missed. He will be missed, and not just by Yankee fans, by all of Major League Baseball fans.
Definitely.
Well,
and so we got Cole versus Glasgow.
Yeah, I was very surprised with the length that Cole gave us, actually, especially when he's out there in the first inning and he's fidgeting and he's uncomfortable and he looks like the worst combination of Mike Messina, Roger Clemens, and Jabba Chamberlain. And
man, he's a power pitcher, dude, though. Holy man, he really blows people away. He came out 98-99 on 3 days rest. I mean, I remember when they would pitch Pedro on 3 days rest, he could barely hit 92 on those days.
That's true. And what's amazing to me is, the velocity is there, but the pinpoint control and accuracy.
Yeah, no.
He's painting the black.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, if Greg Maddux had Cole's stuff, like, he would have been even better. Like, it's crazy to me that how he's able to combine not just country hardball, but pinpoint location.
No, he's good. He's good. I can't take anything away from him. He talked a lot of smack after he left Houston, but he's definitely backed it up. I mean, he had some rough patches this year, but he's a gamer, man. He's legit. He's proven he was worth all the money tonight. And his buddy on the other side pitched on 2 days rest. He just went through the order once. That seems to be Cash's plan tonight. he looked great too. I mean, I think he only walked 2 guys, but he had no problem with the order on 2 days rest. That's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders really had a good job today. He really did a good job, and like I was very impressed with both of them. Granted, I throw a lot of shade at Garrett Cole's way just because I don't like the way he carries himself. I just don't. He's not intimidating to me. He looks like he ate bad sausage. He doesn't look like, Roger Clemens was intimidating. Like you look at Roger Clemens and you shit your pants. This guy, not really.
Roger Clemens throws broken bats at people,
Well, yeah. Well, it remains to be seen if Garrett Cole will ever do that. But
So I mean, in your opinion, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Cole on 3 days rest or Glasgow on 2 days rest? And do you agree with the managers doing this?
Well, for Aaron Boone, all bets are off after game 2 because he totally foobarred that game. I think we're both in agreement on that one. Kevin Cash.
Well, how do you just not tell the guy? Like, how do you not tell Hap, hey, we're only going to let this guy pitch an inning and then we're going to you? Like, Hap didn't even know.
Well, they've been screwing with this guy all year. Like, it's amazing. It's like, dude, if you don't want him, get rid of him.
It's like, who am I not paying around here?
Wait,
somebody let me know I'm pitching, damn it.
This guy here is dead. Cross him off then. Right? It's amazing. I mean,
it's like you're warming up, you're going in. Who, me?
I was just taking something
now. Right now, the game just started. Right now, is he sick? Did he get hurt? What happened to the guy?
Right, exactly. And
I'm sure that was the first thing he asked when he got back into the clubhouse. Yo, you okay? What happened? Did you have to go to the bathroom? Maybe he had to take a shit. Maybe that's what it was. He had to take a shit and he couldn't go back out there.
It could have been, man. You definitely, at this time of year, who knows? You get a little bit of the flu bug and just a little bit of seasonal diarrhea. I don't know. But
we also come to that question, is Boone a puppet or is he a putz?
To me, this call came from the higher ups. I mean, Aaron Boone is the greatest middle management in history. Just like
the cash man, the cash man called for this.
The cash man called for it. Gotta be. It makes no sense whatsoever. It has, from a baseball standpoint, from a numbers and analytics standpoint, it may make some semblance of sense when you you do a deep dive into the numbers, but
as far as them trying to get them to take all their lefties out of the lineup, or
like Aaron Boone's playing chess and Kevin Cash is playing baseball. Like, it's not even like, I don't know what the hell he's thinking.
Well, I know when we spoke about it, after the show, you were saying that you really thought Cash was just trying to set up his he set up his starting rotation for the next series. That's why you think he went with Glasgow now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
but as far as what happened in the last game, what happened with Garcia, and now going with Cole on 3 days rest is like, all right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it came from Cashman. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Managers have been doing this for years, and I just don't understand why they try to outsmart themselves. Like, these are professional baseball players. Just go out and live with the result of the game. You guys got hitters too. You don't know what's going to happen.
Precisely.
I remember back in the late 90s, I used to hate it when Bobby Cox would pitch Glavine on 3 days rest or pitch Manning on 3 days rest. Why? We got Smoltz, we got Avery, we got other guys. Like, what are we doing? And they never won those games. They always lost by the third or fourth inning. They were exhausted. They couldn't hit the corners. It was terrible.
I mean, if you look at statistically these numbers, these starters coming back on short rests in these games, they're 30 games under 500.
It doesn't work.
It absolutely doesn't work. The only way it could work is if you do it like Kevin Cash did, where it's just like, okay, you're only going out for 2 innings, max out, and then we're going to get the rest of the team behind you.
Right. We just want you to go through the order once.
Right, exactly.
Or twice, whatever, yeah.
So really, that's the only way it was going to work. And I'm surprised there hasn't been, kind of a little bit of snarl to this game. Like I texted you before the game, if I'm Glasnow, and Glasnow is owned by Giancarlo Stanton, 4 for 6 with 3 home runs. And if I'm him, I'm buzzing the tower. Like he's been way too comfortable in this series, and you gotta move
And
him up the plate a little bit.
Cole did that in the first inning with both hitters on the Rays that have his number.
Yeah, Troy and a Rosarena. Like Rosarena, he actually clipped on the arm.
He clipped him, and it's funny because as soon as Troy walked in the batter's box, he started smiling because he was like, "I guess I'm next."
Yeah. So
because I've got a better average against him than he does.
For sure. But the way it's set up, I mean, you had Glasnow, Snell was back there, but the good thing about this is if the Rays win, they are ready and set up for the Astros in game 1 because they can just go with Snell. The Yankees are going to go with whom? Davy Garcia? Hap?
Yeah. And then Hap, but we won't tell Hap.
If that's the case, just start Chapman.
Don't tell him we're going to put him in. Should have got a live chicken.
Obviously, Taylor's thinking.
I don't know what's he thinking. But you just alluded to what could possibly be the next series, either the Astros against the Rays or the Yankees against the Astros. Now, do you feel like the Astros need to go to the World Series or need to win the World Series to validate their World Series win from a couple of years ago? Or you think they've already accomplished that this year?
This is a nightmare scenario for Major League Baseball because not only are they good, the Astros now have something to prove. And that makes them dangerous. And ultimately, they need to win the whole thing just to validate what happened.
You think they need that?
I think they need the full validation, and I think they need to go through either the Yankees
and if they
or
do
the
it,
Dodgers.
They're going to be doing right. And if they're going to do it, they're going to do it without Verlander, and they're going to do it without Cole, which is incredibly hard.
And they're going to do it without Zach Greinke. I think he's hurt too.
Yeah, Greinke, no. Yeah, Greinke won't be there either. Yeah. He's hurt.
And
he's hurt.
They're
hitting right now.
Yeah.
They're on fire. So your Altuves, your Correa, your Springers, your Bregmans are fire right now.
Yeah.
And so if they can keep that going, if they face the Yankees in the next round, it's going to be over 20 home runs hit in that series. Easily. And probably over 5 people getting hit.
Easily. And honestly, the wild card in all of this is Dusty Baker. Just from past experience of him with young pitching, that has to scare the hell out of Astros fans because he ruined the careers of Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor. So it makes you wonder what he's going to do with guys like Valdez. But, I mean, McCullers, he's already coming back from an injury. He's probably like, dude, no.
I can't do it today. I can't go. But, he is a good coach. I think they got the right guy for the job. But they have a chance. On the other hand, I don't really think they need that to validate. I think as far as they've come is still impressive. And unlike you, I think it's a dream matchup for Major League Baseball for the Astros and the Yankees to play, and then potentially the Astros and the Dodgers to play because of all the attention that will be involved. Yeah. I mean, come on, think about it. Like a Rays Astros, that's not going to get the draw the Yankees and the Astros are going to get. And even Dodgers, Yankees would get some buzz, but Dodgers, Rays, Braves, Rays, they're not looking forward to something like that. And to speak about just, the Astros, doing very well in the last round, once again, the A's fall flat in their face. Moneyball does not even work in the bubble. So I don't know where they go from here. It's going to be the same. It seems like it's going to be the same thing every year with them. They're never going to win the last game of the season.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you need eventually to pepper in some free agents with guys that, you have grown from, from the earth, from your roots. And unfortunately, that's not Billy Bean's MO, and that's not financially feasible.
Well, it's just not financially feasible, but I don't know what the formula is for baseball, right? So the formula for football is you got to try to win your Super Bowl while your quarterback is on a rookie deal, right? You want to try to win while your quarterback, arguably probably one of the top 5 players in your team, is playing on his rookie contract. That's how you can form a nucleus around him with higher priced players. And then when his contract comes up, you weed out the guys that you need and you replace them with guys that are valuable players, but not as necessarily good as your quarterback. But I don't know what the formula is for baseball. There's such a different temperament there. There's such a different team makeup there. And, I thought a couple of years ago, Billy Beane was getting close to figuring that out, but clearly he's not.
I don't know. It's, he tried to do it with Hudson Mulder and Zito. It didn't work. He tried to do it.
And they had the MVP Tejada on that team. Like, they had a good team.
They had Chavez. They had Giambi. They had the other Giambi. They had
Long. They had Long. Long was good.
Terrence
I think
Long
even Justice was on that team, right?
Mm-hmm. Justice was on that team. You had guys, man, and he didn't make it work.
Coke was the closer, right?
Billy Koch. Yes, Billy Koch was there. Yeah.
Koch was the closer,
oh my
man.
God.
They were stacked. And even a couple of years ago, they made a nice little run. And I think he even traded for some players thinking he was close, but no cigar there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it comes down to, player evaluation. And if you look, let's do a quick comparison. When they won, Sandy Alderson had no compunction about bringing in guys. Like when he ran that team.
You talking about the 80s?
Yeah, in the 80s. Like he went for it, Like he brought in guys, he built teams, and he got the guys he needed. And Billy Beane,
steroids.
and steroids. But you know what? That's a product of the system. And now, I mean, it's technology. So it's
technology.
It's about getting an edge. And as well as I do, baseball's been about cheating. We've been on this rant a couple times,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
My cheaters are gonna be better than your cheaters, damn it! And we root for the laundry.
And then on the other side, we got the Braves versus the Dodgers. Great pitching, great hitting. Freddie Freeman having a career year. Acuna, arguably a top 5 player in Major League Baseball. What would you say are the keys to victory for this series?
For the keys to victory for the Braves, they got to keep mashing. Like they don't have the horses to match up with the Dodgers. I mean, they're good pitchers, but
I think their ERA right now is 0.98, something crazy like that. It's like under 1 for the last 2 series.
Yeah, but who they play?
Hey man, they played some studs. They played some studs on the Marlins.
Oh,
I'm gonna catch me a Marlin.
Yeah, I caught me a Marlin, and they just caught fire at the right time. That's actually the first series they've ever lost in the playoffs. Good job, Mattingly.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
7 straight series wins. That's unbelievable.
They got 2 chips, man. It's just like it.
Oh, they're doing it right. They know what they're doing down there.
No.
Both Florida teams know what they're doing. They're making the most of the situation, spending little, and they're making money.
Absolutely.
I think the keys to the victory for the Braves, at least, they need to average at least 5 runs a game. They need to beat Kershaw. That is crucial. If they can show that they can beat him, it might break the straw on the other side, and the guys on that in that locker room, they're going to believe we could do this. And on the Dodger side, they'll be like, oh shit, they can do this.
Yeah.
And they got to beat up on those Dodger closers. The closer situation is a little up in the air right now with Jansen. So if whoever comes in, beat him up. Make him pitch a lot. Get on base. Steal. Score runs.
Well, that's the one good thing that the Braves do have going for them. They have the young legs. They have the combination of speed and power. So they're not going to be a station-to-station team. Guys like Acuna and Albies and even Dansby Swanson, they can run, man. And Ender Inciarte.
Wasn't he like an overall? He was like a top 5 pick,
number
wasn't he?
1.
He was number 1 pick, right? And I don't remember who drafted him, but the Braves aren't the people who drafted him.
Arizona Diamondbacks, going back to Dave Stewart when he was a GM. And then he turned around and traded him for Tuki Toussaint and the corpse of
Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, smoke. That's because you burned the whole thing down.
Yeah, and I guess so what would you say the Dodgers' keys to victory are? What do they need to do to beat the Braves? And how many games can they do it in?
Well, they just went through a young powerhouse team in the Padres. They just mowed them down. So they just need to keep doing.
Motorboat son of a bitch.
They just need to keep doing what they're doing because eventually young hitters will get aggressive. They will come out of their game plans if they're trying to be a little bit, more passive in the batter's box and work the counts a little bit. They're just gonna have to kind of make them make mistakes. And young teams will do that if you let them. So the Dodgers need to rely on their veteran experience, and they just need to remember that they've been through this 1,000 times at this point. And just going back to the Tampa Bay Lightning, if we're going to go cross sports, we drew a direct comparison to them. This is their time. If not now, when? Because these guys are, you're getting a year older. Guys are coming to free agency. They're going to want to get paid. You can't pay everybody. So
the Dodgers can pay everybody. The Dodgers can pay everybody. Don't even start with that. They can pay everybody and anybody. They'll pay whoever they want to pay. They got a conglomerate over there of financial backers. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But speaking of the baseball this year, I've really liked it. I mean, I've liked the bubble concept for the playoffs. I don't think it's going to favor anybody in the next series, whether it's in the National League or in the American League. I think you're going to get the best team is going to win.
Yeah, you've eliminated all variables. You've eliminated travel. You've eliminated all sort.
Weather too. I mean, in October,
Southern California.
October in the Bronx is different than October in San Diego.
The only real difference is the residual air quality from the fire, since it's out in California.
Yeah.
So is that going to
really
impact? Yeah, it's a shame that it's happening, but is that going to impact? Because we're feeling it out here in Colorado. Yesterday, it felt like somebody was smoking some bacon outside. But
maybe somebody was smoking bacon outside. Maybe that's what happened.
Over the entire state.
Hey, man, you want some bacon?
I got Applewood. Applewood. I'm getting hungry over here. Should have cooked up some dinner. And if you're looking for a new cooking show to binge, check out As You Eat It on YouTube, hosted by me, Chef Z. I invite you into my home and show you what and how I cook when I'm off the clock as a chef instructor. You're going to learn fun recipes and creative methods to empower and inspire you in the kitchen and take it to the next level. Cook how you want to cook, eat how you want to eat as you eat it. That's As You Eat It, available only on YouTube. AZ, you eat it. Check it out, and let's get cooking.
Another thing going on tonight is NBA Finals. Looks like LeBron is going to be able to wrap this up, which we kind of both thought would happen. Interesting thing I saw was a lot of people in basketball are saying that if he wins this series, which it looks like he's going to, he might surpass Magic Johnson as far as, one of the greatest players of all time. I was wondering, what was your take on that? And is he on the Mount Rushmore of basketball for you?
Well, as far as Magic Johnson, if maybe as an overall basketball player, but he still has a ways to go to eclipse Magic Johnson for Laker fans.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
They're never going to see him until he wins multiples. They're not going to see him in the same light, because it was just like, they drafted Magic, they brought him in, it's kind of the same way with Kareem, like he's more like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where they brought him in and then he kind of, he kind of added to his legacy. But as far as being on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, LeBron James has done things that no one has ever done before. So he's easily on there. He's got a spot. Now, the question is, which spot is he on? Is he on like the number 4 spot where he's going to get kicked off, or is he higher? For me, it's MJ on that list. You got to go with like Bill Russell, and then the other 2 spots are coin tosses. Or who else are you going to put on there? You can put, modern players. You're probably you would consider maybe Kobe Bryant or maybe, someone else, but LeBron James is on there for me. But it's MJ and it's Bill Russell on top just because of the amount of winning that they did. And, LeBron definitely deserves a seat at the table.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Magic is on there. Just because he was able to play all 5 positions. He was a winner. And some of the things he did with the basketball were magic,
Yeah.
Of course, Jordan's there. You're not going to take Jordan down. Bill Russell is there for me too, just because of all the championships. And yeah, I think with this victory, LeBron's going to be on there. I do.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, to do what he's done with the multiple teams, it's unparalleled. And as far as what's next for him, it's whatever he wants. He can call his
Can he
shot.
can he win multiple rings there? Can he go back there next year and do it again? When is Father Time going to catch LeBron? He's got a lot of tread on those tires.
That's true. But the thing is, he hasn't really shown much of age, man. Like, that's pretty amazing, considering the fact that last year he had a little bit of the groin injury.
Yeah, that was bad.
It bugged him a little bit, so you thought maybe there was some tread on the tire issue. Then he comes out here with something to prove this season, and it looks like he's proven it, But he can do it until he doesn't want to do it anymore. Until he gets like we've been talking about Drew Brees. Drew Brees can do it until he doesn't want to do it anymore, and it looks like he kind of doesn't want to do it anymore. So, LeBron's like, okay, I'm gonna make Space Jam 2. I'm cool. I have that show, the Shop, and I'm gonna do some acting. I'm gonna do some producing, and he's really gonna move into the Hollywood role of it more so than the basketball role of it. Can he do that?
I think Anthony Davis can even opt out. I wonder. I mean, I don't think he would, but that's something to think about too.
Yeah. But the good thing about this is that they mesh together very well. Just, the last big man that LeBron really had was Big Z back in Cleveland, I don't really count Chris Bosh because he was a tall guy, but he didn't really play like
I think he had Shaq in Cleveland for a year too.
Yeah, but he had Shaq on the downside of his career,
No, somebody was, I saw there was an argument where they think Anthony Davis is the best teammate LeBron's ever had. I kind of disagree with that. I very much enjoyed the Miami Heat days with Wade and LeBron. To me, that was the best teammate he ever had. Anthony Davis may complement LeBron's game at his age a little better, but Dwayne Wade was much better teammate to LeBron James than Anthony Davis is. Anthony Davis allows him to take a break. Yeah. It doesn't all have to be on him. And, Anthony Davis also slows the game down where, man, it was like the Monstars when they were in Miami, man.
Well, he's certainly a better teammate than Kyrie Irving. I think we can agree on that.
That guy.
Yeah. For me, it's Mo Williams. Mo Williams, like, here's the ball. I'm going to go stand over here. You got it.
I got my Slurpee. I'm good.
There was I think a Saturday Night Live skit where it was just like they were toweling LeBron off and stuff like that. Like, yeah, we play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, did you want that on rye or did you want that on wheat?
Another positive today was, well, I guess the lack of a positive. Both Titans and New England players tested negative today, so there are no positive tests. So if they test negative tomorrow, they can all go back to practice. But one of the things that's in question is how seriously the Titans were taking quarantine. There's been rumors that there was an organized practice, that they thought that since they were outside, it was okay for them all to get together. That's kind of how this got spread. But, what do you think about, the ramifications of this? Like, what should be the penalty if players do not adhere to the protocols? Because, hey, listen, you keep postponing games, canceling games, you're messing up the schedule, you're messing up other teams like the Steelers and the Bills. Their schedules are all jacked up now because they had to play teams that were quarantining. So What do you think the punishment should be?
Well, I think it's in the collective bargaining agreement that they have the possibility of declaring a forfeit. So that would totally jack up the situation, especially if they can prove, if the NFLPA can prove there was malfeasance, then yeah,
Do you
just
think that's
start.
fair? You think it's fair for them to just say, "Hey, you know what? You guys are forfeiting this game.
Yeah,
Nobody's getting a game check." You think
yeah.
that's okay?
If you guys are going to behave like assholes, we're going to treat you like assholes. Like it goes
No,
back to my
somebody should
days
have told
teaching high
that to
school.
the Jets because I think they might have did that to themselves today to get out of playing on Sunday.
Possibly. I mean, Adam Gase might have called that one in. It's like, Coach, I think I got it.
I got the COVID. I
Oh
got it.
my God, no!
You're not gonna fire a guy with COVID, are you? Got him.
I guess
And
you
if they
would,
don't,
wouldn't you?
and if they don't, if they actually, they tested the guy again, so we'll find out tomorrow if he really has it. There seems to be an air that it might be a false positive. But if they do play the game on Sunday, Joe Flacco will be under center.
Or Joe.
Poor Joe's the one that called in the COVID. He's like, I got it.
It's
I
me.
can't go out there.
It's me.
You want me to play?
Did I mention my neck's hurting? If
My
you're not
neck
gonna,
hurts.
oh
my neck, my neck hurts. You haven't been hit yet, Joe. I know it's tension.
it's preemptive. But yeah, I do feel bad for Sam Darnold. He was clearly one of the only guys trying in that game. He sprained his AC joint, and the story of him going up to Flacco saying, "Get your effing helmet off. I'm going back in." Good for you, kid. But you had mono, you had the AC joint thing.
He's had a bad. We talk about it almost every week now. He's had a bad rap, and it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
I was thinking that they could be one of the contenders for the Trevor Lawrence signing, but now Washington's decided to bench Dwayne Haskins. They're going to their backup this week.
I heard that.
So you know what? It could be the Redskins that could get Trevor Lawrence, and that might not be so bad. Snyder would definitely trade draft picks. He did it once before. He would do it again to get that coveted quarterback. That would be very interesting.
The only thing that gives me pause about that is that Kyle Allen won games for Ron Rivera last year in Carolina. He's familiar with the system, and he's got some talent around him. So he might luck into some wins,
For sure. I think he's definitely got he's got a good chance. I don't want to count Dwayne Haskins out of the league yet. I know all the numbers kind of suggest that he's terrible, but I'm going to give the kid a break. I mean, he still needs to learn how to become an NFL quarterback. It kind of reminds me of the Mark Sanchez situation where Mark really came in way too early. He needed someone to teach him how to be an NFL quarterback, and he never got that. And I feel like Haskins hasn't gotten that yet. And I hope that he gets out of Washington because he's not going to get it there. And he gets someone that can teach him how to play quarterback in the NFL. And I think he has a chance.
Who's going to do it? Who's going to do it?
Chucky?
No. Pete Carroll.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
A year or two under Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, he'll rehab his image.
I mean, Geno Smith looks better after his years in Seattle.
He's holding that clipboard so level now.
He's strong. But yeah, you get Trevor Lawrence. Like, Trevor, if you come here, we'll let you name the team. You can. We'll make it any team name you want, man.
The Washington Dabos.
To think about it, I think he's only lost like 1 or 2 games in college.
And one of them was the national championship.
And one of them was the national championship to
Burrow. Yeah.
Burrow.
Yeah.
Who actually he looked real. I got to see him like a whole game for the first time this past weekend. He's good. He's really good.
Joe Burrow is definitely going to have a future in the NFL. Since it's the Cincinnati Bengals, you have to kind of tamper your expectations.
You have to say it with
a lot
higher reflection in your voice. You're like, oh, he's good.
He's good. But
all right.
with that organization, is he going to be Boomer Esiason good? Is he going to be Andy Dalton good? Or is he going to be Carson Palmer good? Because all those guys went through that organization too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point, it's not the quarterback.
Yeah, I feel bad for AJ Green. It looks like his best days are behind him. He can't really get open. He can't catch the ball either. But one quarterback that did not look so good yesterday was a Mr. Tom Brady. Forgetting what down it was, screaming at his teammates. That's a bad look. Tom Brady is one of my favorite players of all time, but you can't be cursing out your teammates like that because of personal penalties, and then you forget what down it is. Man, I don't remember you forgetting what down it was when you were in New England. You got to be accountable. Like, even if you did forget the down, you got to make it feel. You got to make people think, oh, you know what, that was my fault. Like, you got to own up to it. You can't be holding people to such a high regard and not hold yourself to a high regard.
That's true.
And again, I watched some of the game, and they had Chicago on the ropes in the first quarter. It was 10-0, and they were driving downfield to score again, and then there was a fumble, and it really like changed the complexity of the game. But I think a lot of last night was kind of on the coach. I mean, it's the coach's job to keep them disciplined. There was a lot of penalties. I still don't really agree with Bruce Arians' play calling, but you know how to count to 6 and say, you've won 6 titles or 7 championships, whatever. You got to know there are 4 downs, and even if you didn't, you got to own up to it. You can't be like, I forgot what down it was. Everybody knows you knew what down it was, dude.
Yeah, there was a lot of coach speak after that game, and you know what? That was just BS. Tom Brady, like, he had a brain fart. He didn't take his Ginkgo biloba. Just own up to it and say, man, it was on me. I totally messed up.
Yeah. It's like with we all talk about how Drew Brees, we know he's at the end and his arm is showing that. Yeah. And maybe we know Tom is getting towards the end because he's having some mind lapses. In the first game, BA mentioned that he, didn't agree with some of the audibles Tom called, didn't agree with some of the passes Tom threw. So maybe that's the part of his game that's starting to diminish, is the mental aspect of it. Because you know what? We don't know what went on in New England for the last 20 years. We don't know if Josh Daniels was in his headset reminding him of the down and distance, or reminding him what his check down should be, or going through progressions. We don't know what was said. And sometimes you just feel comfortable with somebody, somebody you've been working with for a long time. Right now, he's got Byron Leftwich calling the plays in his ear. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Byron Leftwich, but that's a big difference, And there's probably some parts that Tom, after what, like 3 months in Tampa now, he's probably like, man, I know more than all you guys. And,
right.
And you can't think like that. And if that's the way he's thinking, you can't. You got to go in there thinking they're all equals. We're all going to do this together. Definitely has the weapons to do it.
But Rojo, he absolutely has the weapons to do it.
Rojo, let me tell you, Rojo looked great last night. Rob Gronkowski caught a pass and got hurt. But Cameron Brate is really good. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. He wasn't able to get the ball to Scotty Miller last night, but
well,
their kicker's good. Their kicker's really good. Their kicker kept them in the game.
Yeah, well, Ryan Suckup is a good kicker, but you know what? At some point, you do have to acknowledge the quarterback, both sides. Both quarterbacks were pressured into making mistakes, and that credit to them for doing that. But you look at Foles' numbers, and you look at Brady's numbers, and for Tom Brady to have almost the exact same, yardage, and to have almost the exact same results as Nick Foles, and it not being the Super Bowl with the Philly special, like, that's just inexcusable. And
they should have walked into Chicago and stomped them out.
Yeah,
because the defense was solid. They picked him off. I think they picked off Foles once.
Yeah,
they might have had a couple of sacks. I think they had 4 sacks or so. They held them under 20 points. You can't ask for more than that from an NFL defense these days.
No, absolutely. And you know what? This seems to be a bugaboo of Todd Bowles. Even with the Jets, his teams always racked up a lot of penalty yardage, a lot of dumb, a lot of dumb, undisciplined play. So as good as they can be, they can also play with their head up their ass.
Yeah, they got to be better, and I think they will be better. I don't know how much time Tom has.
Hmm.
Like if Tom had 2 or 3 years there, I'd say okay, yeah, next year is going to be really good, or 2 years from now they're going to go. I don't know how much time he has.
Well,
So
with Blaine Gabbert as his backup, he has as much time as he wants.
Blaine Gabbert. The Browns are on a roll. I'm not talking about toilet paper either. They're doing really well. Baker, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the season so far. It seems like this run first option takes the pressure off little Baker, but they did put up a ton of points against the Cowboys this past weekend. But they have the Colts this weekend. Colts this weekend, I think, might have the number one defense in the league. So, how do you see that one shaking out?
Well, honestly, the best quarterback on that team is either Landry or Beckham. But I mean, in terms of what they were able to do and how they're able to get the ball down the field, it is amazing. But Baker had a good game. The Cowboys stink. They have one. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. But yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield is discovering how to play football. You run to set
Yeah,
up the
I
pass.
think he is. I think he's learning like he was at Oklahoma where he's like running the run and shoot and throwing all over the field. But he don't have the size or I don't even think arm talent to do that.
No.
And I think he's learning the game. He's learning the game at another level. So, I know we were shitting on the Browns coach like 2 weeks ago, but he might be stepping into a good area. I mean, he's still gonna have to compete with the Steelers and the Ravens, which is not gonna be easy, but they're definitely showing that they can score. They can stop. Well, they can't really stop teams. Dallas puts up a lot of points. They got a lot of talent, but they are losing their left tackle for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And then the Giants come to play Dallas this weekend. So the question is what's going to give way? Does the worst offense in the league win the game, or does the worst defense in the league win the game?
At some point, if you're Joe Judge, I get it's a learning experience for Daniel Jones to take his licks, but you eventually have to try and win a game. Now, you have Colt McCoy there. He's a veteran. He's a steadying force. He's played very well when he's been in games. Maybe it's a time. They did it with Sam Darnold with the Jets. Like, dude, take a day off. We got Josh McCown. We're going to ride McCown for a little bit. Same thing with Jones. It might just be processing a little too quickly for him right now. Give him a breather. Let him look from a different perspective and see how a professional quarterback plays.
So you're saying bench him.
I'm saying give him a day off. Give him a blow.
Give him a COVID test.
Give him a COVID test. Whatever needs to happen. You know what? Maybe he should have taken a swing at Jalen Ramsey last week because Golden Tate shouldn't be playing this weekend. Apparently it's like Hatfields and McCoys with the Tates and the Ramseys.
I don't know why.
What is this drama, man?
Man, Ramsey put a lick on him during the game. He tackled him. Oh, man. I thought they were going to fight right there. And you could tell Tate was ready. Like, wait till this game's over. I'm coming after you.
I mean, Tate plays angry anyway. He's got that chip on his shoulder from Notre Dame.
It's those Notre Dame players, man.
Yeah, they play to the whistle. They're a chippy bunch. But it's a shame we already had a tie in the league this year because I would pick this game for a tie because they're both two mediocre.
I just
teams.
Don't as bad as Dallas's defense is. I don't think the Giants could score that many points. If they had Saquon, I would say they could, but I don't think they can Dallas is going to put up 40 points. There's not a doubt in my mind. They're going to score between 31 and 40 points. I don't think the Giants could do that. Giants might score 28. They might score 24. I can't see them scoring. Keeping up. I can't see them keeping pace, especially Dallas is desperate. I mean, this is going to look – I mean, if you really think about it, Dallas shouldn't have any wins.
No.
I mean, they got lucky with the squib kick on Atlanta, but they should be just as bad as the Giants are. But the difference is like the Dallas can score. There's nothing to stop them from scoring. You don't question their ability to score. You question their ability to stop people. On Giants' side, I question their ability to stop people, and I question their ability to score. I question both.
But I have to say, as a Giant fan, watching the Patrick Graham defense as opposed to the James Bettcher defense, I see huge improvements just in scheme and in performance. They actually have professional football players out there.
I just don't know what made them think like Blake. I think it's Blake Martinez, right?
Blake Martinez.
What made them think he could be their Mike linebacker? Like, this guy has never. I mean, he was with Green Bay for all those years. He never stood out to me like, oh, this guy could run a defense. He's not Anthony Hitchens. He's not, any of those top of the line linebackers. He's not like a Hightower or a Junior Seau type. I mean, he's just the regular guy. He's like a Chase Blackburn, for crying out loud.
Hey, you know what? Chase Blackburn was the heart of that defense, and I really think that what you bring to the table with Blake Martinez is a motor and a want to. And at the end of the day, I think he's more of a coach on that, just to kind of get the young players in line and set the expectation and set the tone so that they know, hey, we can't take plays off because this guy's not taking plays off. And I think that's where Alec Ogletree kind of shit the bed.
Yeah, I like Ogletree, and I was surprised when the Rams traded him, got rid of him. I was like, what? Like, this guy was like a foundation of a defense, and you guys just let him go? And it's like you said, it's like, yeah, this is what Ogletree is supposed to be, and he's really not.
Yeah. Speaking of let go, Bill O'Brien is no longer the head coach of the Houston Texans, and he's not the GM and team president anymore. So, sorry, Bill.
Yeah, apparently he had a fiery exchange with J.J. Watt during week 3, and they said after that fiery exchange, he lost the team. And that could be seen in the way they played the last 2 games. I have mixed feelings about O'Brien. I don't really like his style. I remember him when he was the offensive coordinator in New England. He used to get into it with Tom on the sidelines. I remember his times with Penn State, and then he left Penn State, and he didn't leave on good terms. With the Houston, he kind of pushed his way and demanded that he would be the GM and be the coach, and it's just not possible. It's not possible, and you're not that caliber of a guy. Now, granted, in his time in Houston, he had good record. I mean, he's over 500. I think he won the division 4 out of 7 years. He drafted Deshaun Watson, but he made some questionable trades. We talked about it in a previous show about the Hopkins thing. I get why he did it, but that's where, you can't be a GM and a coach, because you may hate this player as a coach, but as a GM, you got to have this player in the team because he's one of the best players in the team. Your job is to, accumulate the best talent, not give it away,
Yeah.
And Brandon Cooks, I mean, come on, this guy's not even getting targeted. He's supposed to, Will Fuller, it's nice that Will Fuller is racking up all these yards and scoring these touchdowns, but that's not what Will Fuller is there for, I don't know where they go from here. There's not a doubt in my mind Watson's going to have to renegotiate his contract now because they don't have any first or second round picks for next year. Not that matters because next year's draft's going to suck anyway, but you're running out of time. Like J.J. Watt, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten hurt yet. He's probably going to get hurt this weekend. Like, you're running out of time with this talent. And it's just, I hope it serves as a reminder that a coach cannot be the GM and the coach.
Bill Parcells once said, when he went to the Patriots, I believe, if you're going to have me cook the meal, I have to go shop for the groceries. The problem is you need to know what to look for. And Bill O'Brien, to me, was a fine coach. I mean, he was successful. You can't argue his success. The numbers don't lie. But in terms of player evaluation, it was awful. Some of the decisions he made, head-scratching decisions, mortgaging your future for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills.
Tunsil's good. He's good.
Tunsil's good, but is he worth Is he worth what you gave up?
Probably not.
Trading Jadeveon Clowney, was that worth what you gave up?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of down on Le'Veon. I'm kind of down on Davion. I thought he would be a better pro. He's good. He's not great. Kenny Stills, he's all right.
But but in that defense with Merciless and Watt, it was a cohesive unit, and they definitely played better together. So
yeah,
for me, that definitely falls on the coach. And with Romeo Crennel being the interim head coach, it's not going to change anything. And honestly,
it's gonna be bad.
No, it's going to be bad. We've seen this before with Romeo Crennel. He's a good coordinator. He's not a good head coach.
He's borderline excellent coordinator. Excellent.
For really, sure.
But the head coaching aspect, not his strong point. The good news though is that they're in the division with the Jaguars, the Colts. So they should be able to rack up some wins, but I mean, like I said, a year ago they had the champs on the ropes, man.
Yeah,
they had the champs on the ropes.
It makes you wonder though, if you are bringing in Romeo Crennel and you know that he's just not the guy, and where do you go from here? You have no talent, no really discernible talent.
It's Dabo, man. They're going to have to go for Dabo.
If you're going for Dabo, do you also go for Trevor? Do you, since Watson's deal is already done, do you float him? Do you see what interest you get? Or if you bottom out for the number 1 pick, like, you have a couple of interesting chips there. J.J. Watt's not going to get you anything. Whitney Merciless isn't going to get you anything. David Johnson's not going to get you anything.
No.
Makes you wonder if to rebuild that team, you may have to do something drastic. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to trade out. They're gonna have to trade out of their pick. They're gonna have a top 6, top 7 pick. They're gonna have to trade out and get draft picks. Like, you're gonna have to try to get 3 or 4 draft picks, because you're not gonna be able to do anything with the next draft. And granted, you probably shouldn't want to, because you don't know what you're gonna get. You're definitely stockpiling for the following year, because, like you said, Watson's locked up. He's not going anywhere. So you're going to have to build a young team really around him. And like I said, the good news is the teams you're competing against aren't world beaters. You're playing the Titans. You're playing the Jaguars. You're playing the Colts. Any given Sunday, you can beat any of those teams. They're not overbearingly powerful where you can't stop them.
It's very true. The one guy who's been able to make the role work of coach and GM is Belichick. And what he's good about is taking a guy that maybe has a little bit of value and turning him into a pick, and then taking that pick and turning him into more picks. So
yes,
do you, if you put your GM hat on as GMD, if you have Whitney Merciless, you have JJ Watt, you don't know, you're not going to have them much longer. Do you flip them? Do you get them? Do you send JJ Watt to the Steelers to play with his brothers? Do you send Whitney Merciless to the Seahawks? Do you send him to somewhere to kind of
Dallas?
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you for what you did for us. We're gonna try and put you in a better position to win, because this ain't it.
You could try. I don't think you're going to get more than a 4th or a 5th round pick for them. They're just not. I don't think people are going to give up a lot for JJ Watt. I mean, look at what Randy Moss went for. He went for a 4th round pick and a ham sandwich. It's just you're not going to get the max value for them. But yeah, you could try, but they're not in as bad a situation as the Jets are. But
no,
they're gonna have to start over, and it sucks because you built something up. You're at the peak, and now you're in a situation where you can't even beat the winless Vikings at home. It's like, come on, man. Like, if he just wins that game, he has his job for another week. Everybody understood, like, the first couple of games are going to be hard. I mean, come on. They did have to go through Murderer's Row. It really was a tough, stretch for them, especially even with COVID going on. But, dude.
But if you're looking at parallels, you have O'Brien and you have Dan Quinn in Atlanta. they did not leave the cupboard bare for Dan Quinn. They brought in Austin Hooper. They brought in Todd Gurley. They brought in Calvin Ridley to be the number 2 to Julio Jones.
And Julio's hurt, and they can't win either.
They had a discernible plan, though. I can't tell you what Bill O'Brien's plan was, other than I don't like DeAndre Hopkins. I'm getting him out of Dodge.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Is like you gotta think past it, and that's the problem. Is like while you're busy game planning, you don't have the time to put on your GM hat and see who's available, who's off practice squad, who can we claim, who could we bring in for a workout. We're thinking about 3 years down the line, thinking about 4 years down the line. Like the GM's job is, to think about the team in a 3 to 5 year span. The head coach's job is we need to win right now. How can I win right now?
And that's the crazy part, because you know what? You may not like DeAndre Hopkins, but having DeAndre Hopkins on your team opens up Will Fuller. It opens up Brandon Cooks. It makes these guys better players.
You got to put your differences aside. Like, we talked about a toxic locker room, but when you're on the field, if you're producing and you're playing, who gives a shit? Like, put it aside. Like, but
at the end of the day, winning's got to matter more.
Winners win, losers lose. All right.
And the Jets get
pick
COVID.
Segment. Yeah. I went 10-4 last week. I crushed it.
I did not have as good of a week, but I mean, overall, I'm picking at 61%. So I'm happy with the result, but I got to do better.
So Vegas would like you. Vegas would like me. They would take some of my money, but I would get some of it back, and I would be that guy in the sports book, just living the dream. Just as long as you're not that guy who's losing all his money to the stripper in the parking lot.
That's afterwards.
All right. So I have the Falcons winning over the Panthers. What do you got?
I'm taking the Panthers. I don't believe in Dan Quinn. It might be 2 weeks in a row that somebody gets canned. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know if Arthur Blank would do that to him, and especially because all the players like him. They like him. See, Bill O'Brien lost the locker room.
Yeah.
So, I got Chiefs over the Raiders.
We're in agreement. I'm taking the Chiefs on this one.
Yeah.
It should be close. The Raiders are an improved team, but the Chiefs aren't showing that they're slowing down.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Raiders running back, I think he's hurt. I think he's playing hurt. That's gonna suck because he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
We got the Cardinals versus COVID this week. Who you got?
If they play, because they still haven't left Arizona yet. They're waiting.
No, they did. Did
they finally leave?
They left because they had to, but we won't find out till tomorrow if they're gonna actually play.
They're just gonna circle around LaGuardia. They're just gonna keep going.
No, it's worse. I think they fly into Newark. They stay in Newark. They got to stay in the swamps in Jersey.
Oh my God, the Marriott or the Crown Plaza in East Rutherford. Oh my.
Yes,
goodness.
The Crown Plaza.
But I'm taking the Cardinals. It shouldn't even. I feel bad for Joe Flacco. Like, he might not finish the game, but
he's gonna get. Oh man, they didn't even get to practice today. He's in for a long Sunday. And I got the Cardinals defense in fantasy, so that's gonna be great.
So there you go.
I got the Steelers over the Eagles, Battle of Philadelphia.
The 49ers foobarred last week with the Eagles, and the Steelers aren't going to do that. They know who their quarterback is. I mean, you're not going to have Joshua Dobbs magically come into the game. So Steelers are going to handily take this one. The Eagles aren't that good.
I got an upset. I got the Washington football team beating the Rams.
Interesting. So Kyle Allen really, he takes you over the top. He
gets it done. I just think that defense is going to swarm Goff. I think they're gonna come after him.
Is Chase Young playing? Do we know that for sure? Or
that's a good question. I'm not sure. I think he's going to play.
If he plays, they'll definitely put up a fight. But I'm going to take the Rams. That offense is high powered, and eventually,
he returned. He returned to practice today.
Okay,
so he should play.
So that will make it closer. But I still think the Rams eke it out.
Okay. I got the Ravens over the Bengals.
No, it's not even close. The Ravens are going to win this game.
I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. I mean, Lamar was hurt most of the week. He showed up to practice today. But Joe's pretty good.
No, I mean, yeah,
yeah.
Joe Burrow's a legit quarterback, absolutely. But what he has around him, not there yet.
Okay, we got the Bill O'Brien All-Stars versus the Jaguars. Who you got in that one?
Romeo, why did you take this job? I'm taking the Jags. Minshew is going to wear his jorts and take it to the house.
I think the Texans win, and I think they throw a bucket of water over Cornell for the victory.
It's like that time they threw Gatorade over Marty Benson's head and he died of pneumonia. That's not good.
Poor guy. Poor guy. I got another upset. I got the Dolphins over the 49ers.
I am taking the Dolphins too. After seeing what I saw last week from the Eagles, Fitzpatrick is going to have Fitzmagic, and he's going to do what he does.
So you do not think the backup quarterback is going to come into the Dolphins game?
No, I don't think that. I think
you don't think it's Tua time yet.
I don't think it's Tua time. No, it's not Tua time yet. I think Fitzy has probably. I mean, he's pretty much earned until the bye, unless something catastrophic happens. And Fitzpatrick is due for one of those games, so it could be.
I got the Colts over the Browns. What do you got there?
I got the Colts too.
I think it's gonna be a good game, though. I think it's gonna be a really good game.
It should be a good game. If Darius Leonard plays, that defense is going to swarm Baker Mayfield into making mistakes. But I think Phillip Rivers is finally gonna get his feet under him and take the team where it needs to go.
Crazy stat I saw this week. T.Y. Hilton hasn't had more than 84 yards receiving since Andrew Luck retired. Is that not crazy?
That's an amazing stat.
Is that an amazing stat?
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised.
He hasn't been that healthy either, but
yeah, but Andrew Luck could get him the ball though. Like Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, Phillip Rivers, like they just can't. They don't have the arm that Andrew Luck has.
Right. Because T.Y. runs by people.
Yeah.
I got, what do you got? Cowboys versus Giants. Who you got there?
I want to say the Giants. I can't do it. Like, I just can't say it. The Cowboys should win this game. Like,
Cowboys will win this game. I think last week was an aberration. I think the Seahawks beat the Vikings, but I think it's closer than people think it's going to be.
Russ is going to cook. Metcalf's going to catch. No shot for the Vikings.
Yeah. I don't think this is an upset. I think the Broncos will beat the Patriots just because of everything the Patriots are dealing with this week. And I don't know if Cam's even going to be allowed to play. Because he has to go 2 weeks before he plays. Yeah. So technically, I think their game's on Monday. So it's right around the time. So he might be able to play, but if not, it's going to be Stidham.
Yeah.
Stidham? That's not going to work out.
Yeah. Brett Rippon really showed me something. Granted, he showed me something against the Jets. I think that the Pats are going to rediscover that Sony Michel is on this team.
And no, they put him on IR.
Oh, no!
They put him on IR. He's done.
And then James White is in there because he's still grieving over his parents, right? So
no, James White is playing.
James White is playing.
He's grieving, but he's playing.
Okay, so James White is there. That is definitely a factor. And Rex Burkhead, they're going to feed the beast, man. I think the Pats. I think they're going to win this one.
So I'm looking it up now, and it's saying they're not sure if Cam's going to play. The Broncos are practicing as though Cam is playing, and Cam has just been taking part in Zoom meetings.
He's just been doing Instagram photo shoots.
Pretty much. But, I mean, if he could play, that'd be great.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Belichick plays it close to the vest up until kickoff. Pulls a little.
I'd like it. I mean, he's my fantasy quarterback. I won't start him unless he practices at least. He's got to practice at least one game.
So a little sneaky on
one day.
We'll play a little sneaky on
at least one day. And then the last one is the Bills versus the Titans, and I believe that game's been moved to Tuesday.
When was the last time the Titans actually played a game? I'm going with the Bills on this one.
I think, again, it's going to be close. But, yeah, I think the Billy Goats take it home.
We have one more. We have the Chargers and the Saints.
When's that? Monday night?
I think that is the Sunday night game. Or is it, no, it's the Monday night. No, it is the Monday night game. It was the
Monday night game?
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Chargers.
Well, because we had one more added, and then we have a Tuesday night football game. The schedule's all going to hell, man.
I am going to take the Chargers over the Saints.
The San Diego Superchargers via LA.
Well, they're the LA Chargers.
Via
now,
LA.
Right?
I'm taking the Saints.
LA.
I'm taking the Saints. I really I like Justin Herbert as a quarterback, but the Saints got to have this game. You know, Tampa Bay just lost. They can make up some ground. They could definitely.
Still not sure if Mike Thomas is playing.
Yeah, but if Alvin Kamara goes off like he's been going off, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. What are you making this weekend for the games?
That's a fantastic question, man. I made a little thing. We're going to do a little fall sloppy Joe over a little air fried polenta, maybe some slaw on top. That would be a nice little meal.
Oh man, that sounds delicious.
Definitely check out my IG, guys. You'll see how it turns out. That's _chef_Z.
Well, as always, this was great. I can't wait to see the outcome of this Yankee game, and I'm looking forward to the weekend in sports.
So am I, man. So am I. Thank you guys for getting faded with us. If you want to be a part of the show, email us at faderoutemail@gmail.com. Your picks, your feedback, your comments, whatever you want to do, we can probably, or maybe, fit it into the show. Thanks for getting faded with us one more time. I am Z, that is D, and we will talk to you again next week.
All right. See you later.
Later, brother. Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.